Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today we had a lot of problems. Shahmeer actually got delayed. His flight got delayed and he couldn't actually start at 10. But luckily now he's here. So, inshallah, we're going to do the session. शहमीर के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा मुझे भी नहीं मालूम. जो भी मुझे भी मालूम है वो आपको भी मालूम होगा. तो मैंने कहा कि क्यों ना शहमीर के साथ एक सेशन किया जाए, उसमें पता किया जाए कि यार कहाँ से जर्नी शुरू हुई और किस तरीके से ये आगे बढ़े और इस जगह पे जिस जगह पर हैं वहाँ पे कैसे पहुंचे हैं और इसके अंदर क्या क्या वो चीज़ें आई या जगह आई जहाँ पर लिटरली इन्हें फील हुआ कि यार अच्छा बस सब छोड़ो, ये किस मुसीबत में मैं फंस गया हूँ. तो बहुत डिटेल में बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग किस्म की कन्वर्सेशन होगी. देखते हैं अमीरों के क्या कहना है, लेकिन इससे पहले सबसे पहले अस्सलाम वालेकुम शामिर, क्या हाल चाल है आपके? ठीक ठाक हैं?
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me, Umar Bhai, and sorry to everyone. Sorry to all of you guys that are watching me. Sorry to your team, yourself, that I was late. I had a lot to do, and I had little time. But it won't happen again. If we do this some other time, it won't happen again. And right now, I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur. The worst thing that I'm worst at is time management. I'm really struggling with that, but I'm learning. I'm on my way there. I'm not there yet, but I have a lot to learn about it. But I'll do it. I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know, so I'm sure I'll learn this too.
इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह एवरीबॉडी इज लर्निंग इन लर्निंग फेज. मैं अभी इतना सारा टाइम गुजारने के बाद मैं भी लर्निंग फेज में ही हूँ. हर कोई एज लॉन्ग एज वी रियलाइज के हमें कंटिन्यूसली लर्न करना है तो इंशाल्लाह बेहतरी आ जाती है. अच्छा शामिर, सबसे पहले could spend like next 2 minutes just telling about yourself. What's your background? Um, what are you doing? I mean, a lot of people know you through your profile and everything, but just explain in your own words in a couple of minutes.
Okay, well, my background. I was born in Multan. I was born in one of the most a rural type of area in Multan, and I got my initial education from a school in Multan. Then me and my family we moved to Karachi in 2003. I got my education afterwards from there. Um, there's nothing actually special about my entire journey, about my education, because from the start to finish, in my house everyone had severe focus on education. We were told that we have to study hard, we have to get good grades, we have to there. My dad actually told me that my target is to be the best of the best in education. That was and by that I mean formal schooling. So then we moved to Karachi. I studied there. I was always a good student. I got straight A's, and there was nothing about that. But then I got. But then something happened, which was very alarming for me. That I was about to enter my university, and I gave entrance exams of almost all universities I knew, and I failed almost all of them, and I don't know why. Uh, Literally, you name the biggest universities of Pakistan, and I failed their entrance exam. If you look up their records, you'll know. So then I got in my admission in the university which was close to my home. It's called Usman Institute of Technology. It's not actually a university yet. It's going to be in a couple of years. I went in and I started, and I was actually very depressed at that time, but didn't give up, and I got good grades there as well. But halfway through my university, what happened was I attended a seminar about cybersecurity and ethical hacking, and the interest grew from there. And then it was just a matter of studying about my engineering in the daytime and practicing cybersecurity in the nighttime. And I got some extra special skills that I can learn things very fast, and then here I am. I did my bachelor's, and I did my master's, and now I'm enrolled for my PhD in blockchain and digital currency. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, we're going to come to the blockchain and digital currency in a while. what I'm more interested, because I mean, whatever work you have actually done is mostly on the website. It's available. You have made your own website. You publish article on those. Plus, you have Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of it. It's all there. So it's public information. What I am interested in more so to spend like next 15 to 20 minutes is exactly what went through. I mean, is it like you had a plan, or is it just like all of a sudden it started to unfold in different directions, and then you just said, "Okay, fine, let's float on it."
Now, Khurram, listen. Here's the thing. One thing that I've always been very, very concerned and strict about is that I never want to stop studying. I would never want to stop studying, and I never want to stop learning. By studying, I mean studying in a university, studying like really studying books and really studying like a student. I never want to stop that. So things actually did start to unfold by themselves. There was nothing that that I did. I just went with the flow. I failed a couple of times, and most of the times I passed. In life, and it was mostly the fate itself. It was nothing special that I did. You want the answer? I think that you might be looking for is that what happened actually? How did it's some may call me as an overnight thing, like a guy appearing from nowhere and he's everywhere now. So it was not actually overnight. I mean, it was actually 3 to 4 years. I was number one on a ranked ethical hacker, bug bounty hunter in 2015, but nobody knew that. Nobody knew that because I didn't publish the news. That was, and then of course I was studying, and then I had my company, and that's another story, by the way. In 2016, I was incubated Plan 9 for my cybersecurity company. So that happened. That was very, very good. But because of my company, I actually lost my rank from first to third, and now I'm so shortly going to be back on number one this year, inshallah. But then somebody caught someone actually read the news somewhere that this is a Pakistani guy and he's ranked one of the top 10 ethical hackers in the world, and that the news broke out.
So you went with the flow, whatever was happening to you. So you actually failed the test, and that was an opportunity for you to actually spend more time in hacking and everything. How much role your surrounding had in getting you where you are right now? Like, and I'm talking about not just surrounding in physical terms, but in terms of actually human terms. Your parents, your friends, your circle around you. I mean, what?
That was always one of the best motivation points. I mean, my mom and dad never stopped me. They just wanted me they just wanted me to focus on my grades, and whatever else I did, they just there was nothing that they stopped me from doing. My dad actually funded some of my initial certifications that I did. So it's not without family support. The people who say that you can become an entrepreneur, you can become successful without family support, they're wrong. They're dead wrong right there. It's not possible without family, without good friends, without supportive friends. It's not at all possible to do anything, because achieving something is more of an emotional and psychological struggle than physical and financial. That's what most of the companies, most of the entrepreneurs, researchers, that they lack the fact of knowing that it may be a physical struggle, or they have to run around. It's more of an emotional and physical, psychological struggle than anything. So family and friends are number one on my list for the support you're talking about.
Okay, and I mean, how many times, if we look back, like in past 5 years, how many times you got to the situation where you didn't have enough money in your pocket to actually go around? So, how many times in that situation you found yourself in that situation?
Well, never actually.
All right.
Let me tell you. Let me be very. The moment I started learning about cybersecurity, and the moment I started working with Facebook and Google. That never happened. I actually had a non-profit organization, and which actually collected money from ethical hackers and bug bounty hunters, and we donated to different kinds of causes. So that never happened to me. I mean, I'm very blessed from the fact that that never happened to me. I've never felt the need for. I've never felt emptiness in borrowing money or having a money problem or stuff like that. That never happened. My dad and mom, they were the biggest support. They never made me felt like we were, my dad was a very hard worker, is a very hard worker. He's like one of the top supports that I have. So there was no time ever that I felt that I had no money. Actually, I had money and I donated a lot in the past few years. But since I've started my company, that has become a little of a less activity. But still, I do it and I don't post about it because people told me that I'm showing off. So I've stopped doing that. But still,
how do you categorize yourself? If I ask you that, in which of those three categories you would categorize yourself? I mean, secular, somewhat religious, or a religious person?
No, somewhat religious, because not a secular. I'm somewhat religious. I believe that helping people is one of the biggest and nicest things that you can do. Of course, we're Muslims. We're blessed to be Muslims. If you're on the same page as I am. But I would consider myself somewhat religious. My friends all, they always, because I have very few good friends in my life, so they always push me to actually think about the fact that that whatever I'm achieving is because of Almighty's blessings, and I should thank Him from time to time. But I'm looking forward to become a very religious person in the recent future. But right now, I won't consider myself completely religious. I'm somewhat religious. Basically, that is what makes me myself.
Okay, I get my answer. So the actual inspiration to help the world or like help the people is actually driving or coming out from that perspective that you think this is an obligation for you to actually help out the world. Is that right?
No. Let me tell you why I started Charity Hackers Organization, CHA. The reason I started was that, hold on. The reason that I started Charity Hackers Organization was because that I wanted to make people think that the word hacker is not something of a criminal point of view, if you're getting my point. Yeah. But yes, you are also right that I think that let me just tell you one great example. I found a flaw in a company called TriTalk that I was expecting that they would not reward me for it because it is a very low level flaw. And the same night I donated $150 to someone, and then on the same morning I got $1,500 from that company back. So I am a very strong believer of the fact that this is actually a very good practice that everyone should follow. We should give people, if we have the ability and of course the financial muscle to give, so we should help people in whatever way we can. Not even money. I mean, that's just one of the factors. Giving out your knowledge, teaching people, just being nice to them. I mean, who is nice to anyone nowadays? So even being nice to people is a good way. I mean, most of the people who were my rivals or who didn't like me are now my friends because they think I'm a nice person, and that is one of the strongest triads that I have. That's a community-driven conclusion. I'm not saying this by myself. That I don't. If you meet me, you won't think of me as someone who's arrogant or who's of an attitude or whatever. And
great. I get the answer. Okay, great. Okay, moving on. When was the first time you actually kind of like hacked into successfully? That was the first moment.
Okay, the first moment was it was a company called Zendesk. they were people. They're a very good company. They used to give out T-shirts at that time, and I hacked into one of their application servers, and they sent me a T-shirt with a monk on. So that was the first time. That was the first thing that I got from USA. That was the first thing. That was the first parcel that came in from DHL all the way from San Francisco to my house. So that was a good feeling.
Wow, good. Okay, so that was the kind of like, I would say, normally in the startup cycle, we say like, okay, this is a validated data now we have received, so we can actually carry on. So that was the very first validation that, okay, you're sort of like on the right track. Now, from that point onwards, didn't you realize that you would have to actually kind of build the team and not just go on by yourself? When that feeling came in?
I mean, that was also a coincidence. Because we, like I told you, in my university time, I used to study in the morning and work at night. So one night I was just finishing up my research and going to sleep. I was actually finishing a research paper on modern web application vulnerabilities at that time, and I saw an advertisement of Plan 9, which is an incubator, in Lahore, and I pitched for a cyber. I actually couldn't spell or pronounce the word entrepreneurship at that time. I thought that the word incubator is for little chicks that you incubate in.
Yeah, out of the eggs, basically. Yeah.
I thought it was that, and that was the point. I just went there, and they told me that my idea is accepted, and they will call me afterwards for a second round of interview. And I told them, okay, whatever, let's see how it goes. And they called me up. We have a call. Come on Skype. I told them, no, I'm in a park. I'm doing a little bit of jogging. I can't come. And they told me, okay, don't come on Skype. Do the interview on our call. Our team is waiting. I did the interview on call, and I got accepted in the second round. And then there was the final round in Karachi, where there were 11 companies, and my company was one of them. And then we got incubated, and I came to Lahore. So there is nothing.
There are a lot of coming in, and I'm not even ready to actually start taking questions, but I'm just going to plug in. Amar Jafri Saab is actually having on 29th March in the center. He's at a cyber security conference, and he'd love to have you there. So I don't know whether you're in Pakistan on 29th, so try to be there, because the whole conference
he's a very great person. I was actually waiting for someone to actually, Amar Jafri Saab. I've talked to him on the phone before. He's a very nice guy. He helps people, but I'm willing to contribute whatever 2 cents of knowledge I have. So if I am in Pakistan and if I am around, I'll surely. Even if I am not in Pakistan, I'll try to make sure that I attend, because Pakistan's cybersecurity policies and infrastructure is much needed at this time, and we need to put our egos aside and work in this sector. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, basically it's happening on 29th March. JumpStart actually is taking care of quite a bit in terms of the logistics and everything. And Amar Saab has been a great supporter for JumpStart. So would love to have him actually take the initiative and go forward. So I would love to have you there as well.
If you guys want me there, I'll surely join in.
Of course. I'll send you the invitation and everything. So inshallah, try to be there. It's going to be happening in convention center. So inshallah, I'll share more details with you. Now, Amar Saab also asked, do we have when we talk about the actual policy, like in terms of the actual cybersecurity, does it have to be in line with the global cybersecurity, or can we have like a localized version of our own? Because there are like certain things being running locally in Pakistan. What's your take on it?
Let me answer that. So here's the thing. I have a company in Pakistan, and I have the same company in the UAE. We're working with the UAE, top people to build their cert, for their smart city projects. My company is one of the service providers there, and so here's the thing. to counter cybercrime or to counter cyber terrorism, there are no single ways out of it. If I were to put it simply, I'm going to explain it a little bit, because we cannot do it individually. Let me tell you that. No, if I were to tell you that you can take care of the cyber terrorism in Lahore, I'll take care of the cyber terrorism in Islamabad, it's not possible, because controlling cyber terrorism and cyber crime requires development of a cyber emergency response center, which we call the CERT. And by the way, I recently did a number of certifications in cybersecurity, and my master's was in cybersecurity, and the specialization that I did is in cyber terrorism and cyber crime during my master's. So that's the reason I'm telling you this is for people who are listening to me. I have credentials to speak about it, because people sometimes say that I'm young and I don't. How am I talking on these sensitive subjects? Because I have credentials. That's why I'm talking. So the answer to your question is, to control cyber terrorism or cyber crime, we need to create cyber emergency response teams on a provincial level, and that all of those cyber emergency response teams should disseminate into a cyber emergency response center on the national level. And we need to, because there's little or no headcount or talent in Pakistan for these kind of things. That's why we need to actually initially train our people, train our guys for it. And once we've done that, they can actually work for us, and we can move up the food chain.
All right. Okay, I had to actually kind of bring that in because Amarsa was asking that specific question. But anyhow, moving forward, in terms of suggestion from you to the youth of Pakistan at the moment, would you tell them to walk your path, some of them, if they're interested, or no?
Walk my path, becoming a cybersecurity researcher? Are you talking about that? Of course. I mean, it's a very good field. You get paid a lot, but there's a fine line between being an ethical hacker and a non-ethical hacker. And I take pride in telling people that my track record from start to finish is spotless. You will not find me doing anything malicious ever. The reason is that I knew for a fact that if I did something, I get requests from people to hack into their girlfriends or husbands' Facebook accounts and spy on other people if I can and whatnot. And I don't do that. They offer me a crap load of money if I were to put it in the right way. But I can't do that, because I know that what message as a person am I sending if I'm doing this stuff. So there's a fine line. You can acquire the skill. I learned it. I'm the dumbest person you'll ever meet, and I learned cybersecurity, and I made good out of it. Anyone can learn it. It's not that hard. It is hard, but it's not that hard. So to the youth, you want to walk my path, be my guest. No worries. I'll guide you. I'll help you. But whatever you... Yeah, no worries. I will. But the thing is, Khurram, the fact that people, if you acquire that skill, and the temptation to misuse it is a very juicy one, and you don't want to give up on that temptation. So that's one of the big advices. The second and most important advice that I give everyone and to the people out there is that never compromise on your education. The education system may not be good, but that doesn't mean the education is not good. Because there's an entrepreneurial boom in Pakistan, people are leaving their colleges, high schools, universities, and starting companies without prior knowledge. I see this as a very negative thing that is happening. The reason, I'm a cybersecurity expert. Everyone knows me. I can, even if I didn't do my PhD, it wouldn't affect me much. But just to prove a point to people that formal education and learning should never stop. That is one of the main reasons that I'm continuing my education right now.
Okay, we have to talk. I think we're gonna have like another session maybe later on in a few days' time, because we have to talk a lot on those topics, because maybe there are certain things you're saying like I can actually counter that, but I don't want to actually take the first session hijacked by all those points. But anyhow, moving forward, I wanted to actually spend, because this is like more closer to the people's heart. Everybody is talking about the actual digital currency, and effectively, they think the blockchain is exactly the same as Bitcoin. Before actually going deep into it, what the blockchain is, I actually did the video and tried to explain in layman's terms what the blockchain is actually about. Don't you think that your job is going to be at risk once the and that's probably was the prime reason that you are actually going into the blockchain, that is going to be taken away from you since everything is going to be on blockchain.
Yeah. I mean, it's I believe in transforming with the transformation that is happening. I mean, I see cybersecurity something that's gonna be on top 5 years from now, and I see blockchain that's gonna be something and 10 years, 15 years from now. So learning and knowing about it is just me preparing myself for the future. So yeah, it's not taken away, but the fact that I like this technology a lot. I like blockchain. I like Hashgraph. I mean, I love these techs. I'm actually working with a team in New Zealand to build the world's first blockchain-based bank. I'm going to share I didn't disclose it yet, but I'm going to share the details on my wall real quick. So okay. It's not.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's not the fact that blockchain is. If you I mean blockchain in itself has some real stupid vulnerabilities in terms of cybersecurity. Blockchain as an infrastructure, and that needs fixing. Who will fix that? Cybersecurity experts will. So it's not actually me losing my job. It's actually me learning new skills so I can, make more by doing my job.
Okay, one more thing, and I think you probably would be thinking the same way, and many others in Pakistan also do. I haven't come across too many. But I seriously think that we have this opportunity in Pakistan that we can actually leapfrog. It's a good thing that we haven't actually kind of cashed out with the developed world by implementing certain technologies and certain elements of the developed world. So we have an opportunity to actually just leapfrog the whole thing. What do you think that we haven't gone through this localized version of our own cloud? We haven't had like a big data centers in Pakistan. Everybody was talking about like we need the localized data center and everything. Don't you think like we can actually leapfrog out of it, or that's the best strategy?
No, listen. I would like to answer that question by starting about an opportunity that has recently come towards Pakistan. That is called the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. A lot of people we have caught an eye of the entire world because of that. And whatever we do, now is the time. These 5, 10 years, next 10 years, this is the time for companies. This is the time for entrepreneurs to do anything they want. If that's building a data center, developing a solution for renewable energy, developing a solution for tracking assets or inventory online, whatever we want to do. Now is the time. Now is the time that people are looking at Pakistan because we've gained a lot of attention because of CPEC. The reason I'm saying it is that because I've recently been appointed as an advisor to the Blockchain Global Foundation Australia, and they've asked one of the main reasons to establish a blockchain center in Pakistan is because that they wanna cash out CPEC. They want to do that. So this is what I'm getting from these are the vibes that I'm getting from the outside world. These are the feelings. So making data, anything that we want to do right now will pay us in gold in the next few years. So I hope I answered that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I get a little bit of that, but in terms of I mean, has any of the government organization in Pakistan actually kind of approach you in past a few years that okay, come and help us, or they haven't?
I would say partially approached and partially not approached, but the ones that I didn't want to work with, I tried to refuse them. No. Of course, the China-Pakistan economic corridor is not possible without government support. Amar Jafri Saab said that. No, I've been working with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Information Technology Board to develop their cyber emergency response center, and yeah,
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what was your experience if you have ever dealt with any of the government organizations?
they're good. They're good. I mean,
Sure.
yeah, they're good people working in them. Nothing to complain about. Decent people.
Okay, when you were actually working on these hacking attempts on different websites and everything, and there's a good and bad element, and then you're, mashallah, so good child that you've been brought up this way that you haven't actually turned that into negative element of video hacking, and you actually turn over to those organizations and said, okay, these are the bugs you have in there, and then they paid you, and you were kind of like a bounty hunter. But at the same time, um, was that the right approach? You were able to actually do that while sitting in Pakistan, or you needed something more to it, what you already had while sitting in Pakistan on your computer and doing this?
So here's the thing, like I can't test any website without them authorizing me. So what websites have different web application vendors and online sites, they have their responsible disclosure policy in which they're telling us, like bug bounty hunters like me, to test their systems and find out their flaws. So that's one of the most important things. I can't go in and test any website I want. It's against the law, and breaking the law is like breaking my own rules. So that's the first thing. So if I see a responsible disclosure.
Okay, I get the point, but why specifically I'm asking, I actually saw your post. You walked into the hotel. This hotel actually offered you and said, hack into our system, and then with the Raspberry actually did something. Now,
I am able to hack into their CCTV system. Though they upgraded my room, I was in the presidential suite.
Okay, so that's fine. But walk me through this whole process that you were carrying a Raspberry Pi. Obviously, I know you can't just simply hack into by logging into their Wi-Fi and everything. Maybe you would.
That is like that.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
So here's the thing. I got this hoodie when basically HackerOne gives out hoodies to their top 100 hackers, and I got this hoodie. I was in Malaysia at that time. I was wearing that, and I walked in, and their manager saw me, noticed me, and she came up to me and said, "Are you a hacker?" No, I told her, "Ma'am, no, I do this. I have a company. I'm an ethical guy. I don't do this stuff." But she was like, "Okay, let me give you a challenge. Try to hack into our hotel." I was like, "What do you mean hack into your hotel?" She was like, "No, try to hack into it like you would hack into any other system." I was like, "Okay, I use Onion, by the way. Onion is something like Raspberry Pi. If you Google it up, it's called Onion.io. It's similar to Raspberry Pi. So we have Onion, and we load operating. I have a Parrot operating system loaded in it with my custom tools. And you plug it into a TV, you connect it back to your computer system, and then the TV is actually on the network because it's a smart TV. You scan for available machines that are you actually do a ping sweep. You find out what machines are available, and I saw there were a number of other televisions that were also online, which had a camera in them. So if I was to hack into that TV, I could see what was happening in the other room. And there were the CCTVs. What's it called? VNR or something like that. There's a little box that controls the entire CCTV system. I forgot the abbreviation name. So it had an open port, which was called 3389. 3389 is a port for remote desktop connections. Right. And I opened the remote desktop connection, and the password was admin, and admin administrator was the username, was the password. I went in, I opened up their main control system, and I was able to see, what was happening in the cameras in the lobby and all that. So I phoned up the receptionist and told her to send the manager to my room, and I showed her, this is your CCTV system. This guy's, stealing food from the fridge and whatnot. So then the suit was upgraded. That was about it.
Everybody is watching. Clap. Excellent. Okay. So, I mean, it's very simple. I mean, I have a networking background, and I know, like, I actually used to manage about 500 servers about like 15 years ago. So,
I remember. NVR is the name of the device that that centralizes the CCTV system.
Sure. So, I mean, a few things. The people who are actually watching out there, it's very simple. I mean, many people actually don't change their admin password even for their routers. So that's a very simple thing, and that should be the first thing you should actually, as soon as you unpack your router, that's the first thing you should do. Any device you should do. Otherwise, it's very simple, and that obviously can be hacked into by doing simple, unless you have like a 15-digit password for it. Anyhow, moving on. On this, I wanted to actually discuss this, so let people know exactly what happens when you actually hack. So there was a hardware device also needed in this case, or no?
No, I told you. I used Onion, Onion.io. Onion is a similar thing to Raspberry Pi and Arduino.
But you have to actually plug into their system in order to actually hack in? That's what I'm referring to.
The TV has a USB port. Of course I had to.
So that's
the TV. Okay. My room's TV had a USB port, or their Wi-Fi was they had virtual LANs, and I didn't want to spend much time hopping those LANs because I was very tired from the flight. So I quickly, checked the TV for vulnerabilities, and this is a simple methodology that using which you can, follow. You can hack into networks. A simple methodology. Every endpoint should be checked for vulnerabilities.
I'm jumping from one thing to another to actually keep that interesting for viewers. Another post I actually saw from you was just very interesting. You don't believe in nazar. Is that right? That you don't believe? You think like our actions are the ones who are like, which are basically we are responsible of. If we do something that goes wrong, you don't believe that somebody actually look at your struggles and success, and then they can give you nazar.
Did I post that?
Maybe I saw somewhere like it's but do you? I mean, do you believe that you're going to be successful, and some auntie or uncle is going to say like, okay, oh, well, look at it, or some other friend is going to say, look at Shahmeer, is doing so well, and then all of a sudden everything starts to go bad?
If that was true, I mean, dude, if that was true, I would have been light years behind where I am right now. So it's not about belief. I mean, of course, there are people who don't like me. I know that, but the uncle auntie part, I don't think that it's true. It may be true, but for me, it's not. I mean, if that was true, I would be light years behind. I wouldn't be doing anything. I mean, they're of course. I don't know where you got that from. I never wrote anything like it online. There may be
going through like different history and everything. Since we haven't talked and haven't conversated much, so I had to actually dig deep and then find out about you and ask you.
I've never been asked that before. I mean, seriously, that was like a no-brainer for me. I've never been asked that before.
Oh, okay, great. I mean, that's glad to know that. I mean, people are really happy, and I mean, I'm really happy to be talking to you about this whole scenario that the young generation of Pakistan are actually getting to some point. Although we did the whole conversation in English, and many of them requested, but I think I was feeling comfortable, and then you are also feeling comfortable, so might as well like keep that in English. Another question came in: are you planning or doing something to train young individuals in the field of cybersecurity in Pakistan?
No, not right now. I can't do it alone. The reason is that it's very fragile what I teach to different kinds of people. So that's why I may require the support of some government organization, like I told you, KPITB, Cyber Emergency Response Center, or something like that. But it's very fragile. The skills that this entire field of study has, it's very fragile, and people it can lead people astray, the temptations. So I won't do it as an individual. I won't create a coaching center or something like that on my own. I'll never do that. But maybe in the near future, if I find the right people to connect with, and who can actually guide me on how to establish this thing on a national level, I'll totally do that.
Okay, another question. Hamza Rabbani and Amar Saab also saying like PK cert. I don't know whether you know about them. I don't know what this means, or PK cert or PK Park Dino. Are you aware of those things, those terminologies, or no?
No, I've never heard of Park Dino or PK cert. KP CERC is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Cyber Emergency Response Center. Sure. That is the only thing that I'm associated with on a governmental level. I'm advising them. I'm one of the people that suggested them this idea. So Hamza Rabbani is actually a good friend of mine. We work together. He's a very nice guy. Hello, Hamza. Yeah, and no, I'm not familiar with Park Dino or PK. I know the thing that Amar Saab is doing. It's called PISA, Pakistan Information Security Association. I've seen their work. They're very good. I mean, he's a gem of a person. I've heard very good things about him from everyone. I mean, none of the people have said anything bad. Of course, there are people may say stuff, but I don't know them. So I've heard about PISA cert, which is something very good. I would like to contribute whatever I can to them. But Park Dino, I've never heard of that.
Okay, I mean, obviously, if you're able to attend the conference on 29th, then Amar Saab is going to be actually kind of talking to you a lot about certain things, probably pulling you in many initiatives. So you'll get to know more about that.
Yeah. Today is actually.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Your turn.
So basically, we only have like about 8 to 10 minutes left. So I'm just gonna kind of like going towards wrapping it up. What's ahead? Sorry, go ahead. What did you say?
I'm saying that if you want to take any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, I'm momentarily taking if some of the questions. What's ahead of you? Like how you want to live your life for next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, so one thing, I have 3 dreams that I want to fulfill in my lifetime. The top priority of my life is making. And this is gonna sound funny to you, but this is something very, very serious that I'm about. I want to make a $1 trillion company. I want to build a $1 trillion company. I'm learning how to do that, and I want to do that. I want to make
it's very serious thing. My all prayers are with you.
Second dream is that I want to do 3 PhDs in my life before I'm 30 or 35. I want to do 3 doctorates in blockchain. I want to do 1 in cybersecurity. Then I want to do 1 in artificial intelligence. And third is that let's flip that. I want to build an Iron Man suit. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to make an Iron Man suit for real. I'm a big fan of Iron Man, and I will always, envied that entire character. And this is not a childish dream. This is something that I strongly follow, and I'm researching on in my free time, whatever I get. I'm researching on different ways. I'm studying elemental synthesis. I'm studying material sciences and different kinds of stuff on how to harness the energy from elements and to power this entire contraption. So these are the 3 dreams that I want to fulfill in my life.
Okay, so basically these are 2. So 1 and 3 is basically the same. So as long as you are able to actually build the Iron Man suit, you have a $1 trillion company anyway. So, this is the third one.
No, that the third one is very, very important and the closest to my heart. I want to do that. I will. You'll see. You'll see very soon. I have some pretty neat tricks up my sleeve. You haven't seen my lab yet. I have a little lab back in Karachi, in a remote area.
I would love
it's
to.
Not a lab.
I used to be that kid. When I wanted to actually not the doctorate, but I wanted to actually be a youngest person who actually did the masters, which I did. Like I think I was 20 or something like that. And I did my first master. So basically, and then by 23rd, I think I did 3 or something. So, but later on, and maybe like we have to talk more about this. Having an aim connected to your, age, I don't think is the right way to actually go about it, because later on in my life, like I realized that, I mean, if I would have done that like at the age of 35, it wouldn't have mattered. I've been trying to do the MBA for like past 10 years, and then 4 years ago, like I realized that I know more than what I have learned in MBA at Harvard. Anyhow, you learn.
I really appreciate the work that you're doing. So MBA, you know more MBA than 3 MBAs from Harvard right now. I mean, when you become an entrepreneur, you start doing a mini MBA by yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
So amazing. Seriously, Shahmeer, was really great talking to you. And wish we could have actually done that, and a lot more people could have actually watched it. But I mean, it's a bit late in Pakistan, so I mean, I'm sure they'll tomorrow, and then they'll watch later on the recording of it. One last question, I think, from Ain Kazi: how did you get inspiration to start this type of career, and what is the future in Pakistan? I mean, IT education, then hacking, and then cybersecurity.
Okay, inspiration. It was not an inspiration. It was a grudge. Like I told you, I attended the seminar, and the guy we had a little tough talk, and then I got into this career. And the future is very bright, very, very bright. If you are a cybersecurity expert in Pakistan, if you want to start a company or do a job, actually doing a job is more easier. You get paid a lot. Starting a company is a little bit harder because you have to pay people a lot for working for you. So the future is very bright. I mean, go all heads in. But you have to remember the fact that you have to stand out. In every field that is not saturated yet, there are a lot of people that are just bragging about it and don't know what they're doing. So you have to stand out. You have to acquire the hardcore technical or managerial knowledge about cybersecurity. If you want to start it out.
All right, great, Shahmeer. Amar Jafri Sahab also wishing you good luck. So here's that. And I mean, obviously, anything I could do for you or like anybody else, just please fire away, contact us at any point in time. Really, love to see guys like you out there presenting the name of Pakistan in a really good shape, and then everybody is just like coming and talking to us and say like, okay, Shahmeer is the one who's actually what the real Pakistan is. So really glad you guys.
My best. I'll continue to do this. I won't stop, and I want to just fulfill 3 dreams in my life. These are the ones that I want to do at any cost, and I will do my best to do that. And I'm never going to stop making you guys proud as long as I can.
Great, Shahmeer. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time, and I think it was a great session. We'll probably do another one maybe later on in a few weeks' time and talk about those things which I didn't want to dig deep into it. So get some sleep.
Sure.
Must have jet lag. So inshallah, talk to you soon. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
So guys, that was Shahmeer. We had a great discussion, as you probably saw that most of it, and whoever couldn't, because it was delayed for a while because we couldn't start on time. Usually I do the session at 10 p.m. So since his flight was delayed, he couldn't tune in. So here it was. I'll try to actually take him in maybe at later on in a few weeks' time, and then talk more about the actual cybersecurity element of it. Amar Jafri Saab also is holding a very special event in Islamabad on 29. More details is going to be available. Inshallah, I'll probably do another session with him in which we'll talk more about the cybersecurity element, that what he's trying to achieve through that event. And although I've done a session with Amar Jafri Saab, but let's do another one, inshallah, more closer to the event itself. I'm going to have like a very interesting session on Saturday night, so everybody should tune in. is going to be with Naeem Zafar Saab from Valley. And he's going to be talking about 5 most critical things which actually kill the startups. That's going to be happening on 10 p.m. On Saturday night, according to Pakistani time. So tune in for that, and inshallah, I'll talk to you then. Up till then, from me, Allah Hafiz, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.